So today is June the 17th, 2022, and where are we?
Prizer Point in Kentucky.
And what are we doing here?
RV RIA.
We're at RV RIA. And where are you staying? So we are where you are staying, but what is this?
A houseboat.
A houseboat. And so do y'all own the houseboat?
No. We've rented it.
You rented the houseboat for the week.
Yes.
Do you enjoy it?
Yes.
Has it been fun?
Yes.
That's good. And have you had a good time at RV RIA?
Yes.
Good, okay. So first, tell me who you are.
I'm Kelsey Milligan.
And how do you spell Milligan?
Milligan.
And how old are you, Kelsey Milligan?
18.
You're 18 years old.
Yes, sir.
Have you graduated school?
Yes.
Have you ever been overseas?
Yes.
Did you go overseas by yourself at all?
Yes.
What was that like?
Scary.
Why? So did it stay scary the whole time?
No, it was fun.
So kind of tell me about that first. Let's start there.
So in September and October, I went to Greece and Italy for 2 months by myself.
Had you ever traveled overseas or a big trip like that by yourself ever before?
No.
What made you want to do this?
I was gonna do a gap year with a group of people, and it got canceled due to COVID. So I didn't want COVID to stop anything else, so I just decided to go.
That's at the time. How old were you?
18.
You were 18. Well, that was a big deal. So you have a birthday coming up pretty soon then.
Yes.
Yes. When's your birthday?
July.
And so you're 18 years old. What'd you take with you?
One backpack full of clothes and toiletries. That was it.
So off you go.
Yes.
And where'd you go to first?
Santorini, Greece.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
Yes.
Did you have to climb the mountain up? And it's a real hilly little place, I understand.
Yes, it is. But there's buses. So.
Okay. How long were you there?
I stayed there for 7 days.
And what was your favorite thing you saw there?
I liked the sunsets are beautiful. But the sunset at the Red Rock Beach was really pretty. So
And where's the Red Rock Beach?
I don't remember.
But you don't remember the country it was in?
It's in Santorini, but
okay,
I don't know what part.
Okay, but it's in Santorini.
Yes.
Okay, and what made the sunset so spectacular?
I have no idea. It was just pretty.
I like it. So where do you live?
Douglasville, Georgia.
Douglasville, Georgia.
Yes.
And where do you go to school? Graduated now?
Yes, I went to Alexander High School.
Okay. And how did you like high school?
I hated it.
Why did you hate high school?
I'm not a school person, so I don't like to study, and it just wasn't enjoyable. And I didn't relate to any of them, so.
Okay. And when you say you hate to study, it doesn't mean you're dumb. That's a question.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you're not dumb?
Yes, I'm not dumb.
So you're very smart, but when they were trying to force feed you what they wanted to teach you, how did you feel about that?
I hated it. I felt suffocated.
And how did your parents handle that?
They just encouraged me to keep doing what I enjoyed.
Marching to your own drummer. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your family. Let's start with your mom.
I love my mom.
What's she like?
She's really fun and outspoken at times, but she's also very introverted, so.
How is she, does she protect you? Does she make sure that?
Yes, yeah.
Do you feel safe when you're around her?
Yes.
Yeah?
She's my best friend.
She's your best friend. Yeah. Is she funny?
Yes.
In what ways?
She's just hilarious. I don't know.
Okay. And tell me about your dad.
I don't know what to say.
Well, what's he like?
He's smart and he's very talented, but not a lot of people know that. Like, he loves to play guitar And nobody knows that really. And he tries really hard to make everybody happy, and he does a really good job.
He does a really good job.
Yes.
So he and I have been friends for more than maybe 10 years, maybe 12 years. It's been a long time that I've known your mom and dad. And you know how I feel about him. He's like a brother to me. I think the world of him. And it's what you said, he has a very big heart and he'll do anything for you. He'll do anything for you. How about your sister?
She's crazy, but I love her. She adds sparkle to our life, but it's good. It keeps us entertained, so.
You know I did an interview with your sister too.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you see it?
I have not.
You haven't watched?
No, she doesn't want me to see it.
Why?
I don't know.
You should watch it.
She doesn't want me to.
Okay. Then let me talk to her.
Okay.
Because it's really a good interview. I
heard it was.
Well, when I was editing it, there was a portion in it that I started crying. Oh, and it wasn't sad. It was joy. I just thought it was really great. You know, the way her outlook was and the way she handled herself, and it brought great joy to really, it moved me to tears. That's the word, joyful. Very interesting girl. What do you do to bring in income?
I have 3 houses.
Okay, so that's not really income.
It's passive income.
That's passive income. So that's cash flow you work on.
Yes.
So do you have a job? Do you work at McDonald's?
No.
Burger King? Hardee's? White Castle? Why not? That's what almost everybody your age does.
I don't need to.
How
I
come?
don't want to.
Why don't you want to?
Because I don't want somebody controlling my life.
So you have the money come in from this cash flow. So kind of talk about that a little bit. So what is a pad split?
So I have 1 pad split and 2 co-living. And so it's pretty much where we get a house, a normal single family home, and we split it up into multiple different rooms, and then so we're doing rent by the room.
So like a boarding house?
Yes.
Yes. What got you into that?
One day my mom came home from one of their masterminds and said that, I don't remember who told her, but that she was very interested in it, and I was also interested in it because it was different than what they've done for the past 25 years. So, and I just like that it helps people. So that's why I was interested.
So it grabbed a hold of you right from the start. So you had seen other types of investing, but what was it about this? So you said that you like helping people, but what really attracted you to this? So kind of help me understand, because some people could look at pad split and say, when you have like a pad split or a boarding house, that can be a lot of work too. There's a lot of responsibility there, especially when you're your age. So
I like it because, I mean, the income is it's nice, but there's a need for affordable housing, and there's a lot of people in my area that are starting to live together again and like having to combine, and they can't afford to just rent a house by themselves or buy a house. So, I mean, it's helping these people get back on their feet. So
that's why you think it's a good business model.
Yeah.
Will you keep going forward with this business model, or will you try to take on something else?
No, I like it. I'm going to continue it.
Okay. Do you consider yourself to be a real estate investor?
Yes.
When did you become a real estate investor? When did you get your first investment property?
My first one was at 17.
17?
Yes.
Well, you're not 18, so how can you possibly buy a property at 17?
My parents helped out a lot with this, but we have a trust that it's in, and then they signed off for it, and then the day I turned 18, it moved to my name.
So you were able to buy a house, control it, get control of a house, and you weren't even 18 years old yet.
Yes, sir.
What would you say to an investor out there? Let's say they're 35 or 40, and they're thinking about investing, but they're a little bit scared or they're a little bit nervous. What would you say to them?
Do your due diligence, but just go for it. And meet people and talk, like go to classes and RIAs and all that, but you're not going to do anything until you buy. You're really going to learn the most from buying it, so just do it.
When you're telling people what you do, especially adults, and you say, I have this many houses, I'm doing this, what do they say to you? Do they believe you?
Most of them don't get it. They think I'm crazy, and they don't think I'm going to really be able to afford anything. So, there's always the few people that are very encouraging, but most of the time you only hear that you can't do it and you're too young. So.
And the irony is, and correct me if I'm wrong, most of the people who tell you that they're adults, 35, 40, 50 years old, telling you can't do this, right now at 18, are you earning more money than they are?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Proud.
Are your mom and dad real estate investors?
Yes.
How about your sister?
Yes. She is too.
How big of a role does your family play in you being an investor and you being successful?
I wouldn't have done this without them. My parents were big role models in this.
Did they push you to become a real estate investor?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
How do they push you?
Ever since I can remember, I've been door knocking or driving around while my dad door knocked, and going in houses, and we've done clean outs and all that. We've met with contractors and all that kind of stuff, but they've really wanted us to do this for a long time. So
if you went to your mom and dad tomorrow and said, I want to be a painter and move to Paris,
they would say, go for it.
So it's not that you have to be a real estate investor. You can, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your purpose in life is, that's they're happy with that, right?
Yes.
What do your friends think about you being a real estate investor?
They don't understand it. They think I should be going to college and going into millions in debt and learning and to go get a W-2, and so they're confused. They don't understand.
And when you were in school and you were like, did you have plans to go to college?
For a long time I thought I thought I would because I'm supposed to, but my senior year I realized that's not what I want to do. So.
And out of curiosity, if you would have gone to college, you would have had professors, right?
Yes.
Right now at 18 years old, are you making more than most of your professors make?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
You are.
Okay.
You are. So with your friends, what do they do to make money? We know what you're doing, but and they think you're strange and weird. So what do they do to bring in money?
A lot of them are working at restaurants or like Target. And yeah.
Did your parents make sacrifices to become successful real estate investors?
Yes.
What were some of those sacrifices?
Well, Mom worked for a long time so that Dad could do real estate, and she missed out on a lot of our family functions and vacations. And Dad works all the time. People don't see that part on Facebook, but he works really hard, and he misses out on things just as much as she did to get things done so that we could eat and go on all the vacations. And
do you remember when your mom had that real job?
yes.
What was it like for you when she had the real job?
It was hard. She wasn't around as much, and I missed her all the time, so that was hard.
Was she able to come to many of your school functions?
She came to one field trip. That's all I remember.
And then once she became a full-time real estate investor, once she quit her quote-unquote real job, what was it like?
She was at home. We spend every day we're from 9 to 10 at night. We're together, and we're just having a good time. So.
You're smiling. Why are you smiling?
Because she's my best friend. We have a good time every day.
Do you think you could be as close as you are to your mom right now if she worked her regular job?
No.
Do you think the sacrifices your mom and dad made were worth those sacrifices?
Yes.
What sacrifices are required of you for you to be successful?
I miss out on, just like they miss out on family stuff, I miss out on friend things, and I mean, even though like with this job we get to be free, you still have to work and you still have to prioritize some things. But I mean, I've lost friends over this because they don't get it. Like, so yeah, there's sacrifices, but I think it's worth it.
So that was my next question: is are those sacrifices worth it, and why?
They're totally worth it. I mean, I got to take a 2-month trip to Italy, and I paid for it, and like I got to do what I wanted, and I travel all the time now, and I mean, I get to do what I want when I want to, so without having to go to my boss and say, hey, can I get these 2 weeks off? So
What do you think of people who have to go to their boss and say, please, please let me off so I can go?
it makes me sad,
How come?
because there's another way to live life instead of sitting in an office building all day.
Does your family travel at
All the time.
Give me, like in the last year, some of the places, other than your trip by yourself, but we're not talking about as a family, what are some of the places you've been?
Last week I went to a Disney World alone, and we've gone to, the last year, me and Dad did a few weeks in St. Pete, and we did Orlando. COVID has slowed us down a little bit, but
Okay, let's go to pre-COVID. What is the most interesting place you've been to?
Ecuador and the Galapagos.
What was the Galapagos like? Because a lot of people, when I tell people, where are good places to go, a lot of people say, I'd really like to go to Galapagos, but they've just never been.
It's beautiful. There's so much, there's so many animals and sea life. The water's clear. It's really hot, but it's so worth it. I loved it.
Do you like to travel?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to do more traveling? You just said you went to Disney World by yourself. I mean, you just up and said, here I come?
Yeah.
And what was that like? How did you like Disney World?
It's my favorite. I love it. So it was my first time going alone. So I liked doing what I wanted without having to worry about everybody else.
Thus far in your life, what's the most amazing place you've been to, and what makes it so amazing?
I would have to say the Galapagos again. I loved it.
Have you been once or more than once?
Just once. Yeah, but it was the best trip ever, so
Do you want to go back?
yes, yeah.
Name me one place you really want to go visit. You haven't been to yet, but you've been looking, going, I really want to go there.
Australia.
Why Australia?
I don't know, I've just always wanted to go there. I like the beach, and they have that, and it's a big country. There's a lot to see.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
When did you start investing in real estate?
Technically, me and Kenzie split our first house when we were 7 or 8, but I don't know much about that deal, so I usually say 17.
Okay, so that deal is a deal your mom and dad put together,
Yes.
and you and your sister own. Do you still own it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you get the cash flow from it?
Yes.
Good. And then at 17, what happened?
We went to meet with, it was a friend of my dad, and we went to go meet with her, and she had a rental house that she did not want anymore, and her personal home. So we negotiated, because she only wanted to work with us. So we negotiated a deal that worked for everybody, where I got the rental home, which I still have, and my parents did a flip on their personal home.
Good. Do you want to do something else instead of real estate investing?
I'm interested in a few other things, but
Like what?
I I mean, I'd like to do some online classes for interior design.
What about interior design kind of makes your motor run?
I don't know. I like the idea of making a space look complete.
When you're doing your rehabs on your properties, who's picking paint color? Who's doing that stuff?
I am.
With your mom and dad's help?
Well, me and Dad fight over it, but I'm trying to do it myself.
So you're picking the color, saying this is the way I want to do it.
Yes.
And how does that make you feel?
Scared, because what if I mess up? But overall, it ends up good. So.
Have you messed up at all yet?
Not really.
So when you picked a color, whatever you went with, you thought that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been anything you've done where you want to change?
I don't think so.
Good. So then you start learning to trust yourself too, right? Your own judgment. Is the way you would decorate a house different from the way your dad would?
Absolutely.
How so?
We just do different things. We have different ideas and different interests. So.
Okay. So I want to keep coming back to this question a little bit. So why real estate investing? You're 18, you can be and do anything you want to do right now. And you have all these years in front of you. Why real estate investing?
I mean, with real estate, like I've said, you can do whatever you want. So I can continue to do real estate, and that can fund whatever job I want to do. If I decided to go to school to be a doctor, I could. If I want to do interior design, I can. If I want to go work at a zoo, like whatever I want to do, I can do it. So
now you have freedom just to pick and choose because the money's going to come in no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
From your investing. Where are you in your investing career? Are you a starter, estate builder, or ender?
Starter. I don't know.
I would say estate builder because you've already have a couple properties, right?
Yeah.
And you already have cash flow coming in. Are you financially free?
Yes.
So really, you can almost say that you're an ender. In other words, do you have to? You're here this week at RV RIA. Do you have to for you to make money this month? Do you have to go home and do a job?
No.
What's going to happen? Where's the money going to come from?
The tenants.
The tenants. So are you making more than you're spending?
Yeah.
You can be an ender if you choose to be. And I say estate builder because you want to do more properties, right?
Yeah.
But how many properties do you think you want to own?
Not many. Just enough to.
Like how many?
Not like as many as my parents. Maybe 15.
Maybe 15?
Yeah.
And with your parents, we all know that your dad has a problem. You know, he can't stop buying. You know, he's addicted to the buy. So we're all aware of that. And and they're continuing to buy because they come across good deals and they can't say no. That's just kind of what happens. Why do you want to stop at 15?
Because once you're addicted, it's kind of like a job. So I want to be able to travel and do whatever I want. So.
Do you primarily own these properties that are yours, or are they owned with your parents or a sibling? How?
2 of them are mine. One is with the one that we did at 7 or 8 is with Kenzie, and the other one is with a partner.
Okay, so you're already partnered up on a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
I mean,
just kind of the overall structure, because you got a partnership working.
Gosh, I don't remember most of it. So the partner brought the money, and I did the rehab, and so I can't remember exactly how we set it up, but I'm pretty sure that I have an option for like part of the. I don't remember exactly how it's set up.
Okay. But roughly what it is you did the work.
Yes.
Someone else had the money, and you are splitting the deal some way or fashion. And it may be through option work, right?
Yes.
Are you getting a monthly check on it?
Yes.
Okay, so it could be an option, could be a performance note too. So probably an option. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to buy a house?
It's exciting.
How come?
Because you get to make it pretty.
So you're at the closing table. What goes through your mind? You know, the person you're buying from, are they surprised that you're the buyer?
Most of the time, yeah.
And do they encourage you?
Some of them do. Some of them are jealous.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Not fun to be jealous, is it?
Mm-mm.
So when you were 17, let's go back to that very first house you were buying. How did you find it?
One of Dad's family friends called him and said that they were moving to Florida and that they needed to get rid of these 2 houses. And so that night we went over there and met with them.
Okay. And when you were going through, what was the discussion like when you were negotiating?
It was kind of a weird situation because they had, I don't know if it was the house that I bought, it was, they like had sold it with owner financing, and the people that were living there were not paying, so we had to like kind of figure that out. So it was kind of difficult because I was confused most of the time, but I mean,
If you had to go back and have that discussion with them again, would you do better?
yes,
How come?
because I know more now.
More experience. So how did you structure that deal? You're buying it. You say, okay, we're going to buy this. How did you structure it?
So we bought it with private money, and then we made sure that the family friend was paid off, like what they were owed, and the man that was living in there, he got, I don't remember how much he ended up with because it's been a few years, but he ended up with some cash to move into a new place.
Okay. And what's the exit strategy on that? So you got the house, you have it structured. It's now your house, right?
Yes.
What'd you do with it?
We pad splitted it.
Okay, and what was involved in turning it from a regular rental into a pad split?
So this was a really big rehab. We had to change like the whole kitchen. We had to like do some of the bathrooms. We had to do HVAC and electrical. So everything was changed in this house. But for pad split, we added a few walls to make some more rooms. We moved the laundry so that they could access it, and we had to do like a doorknob, like fancy doorknobs so they could get in, and chains and fire stops and all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Do you still have that property today?
Yes.
Do you want to share with how much that one house is making you each month?
It's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, and each bedroom is paying $1,300 a month.
That's not bad, is it?
Mm-mm.
But you have expenses out of that, right?
Yes.
What are some of your expenses?
So because it's a pad split, we have to do Wi-Fi, and we take care of all the utilities, and so we do Wi-Fi and utilities.
Okay, so you have some expenses,
Mm-hmm.
but to make that kind of money at 18 years old, and going back to your friends, do you know what they're making per hour?
Like $15.
If you could talk to someone who's making $15 an hour, let's say they're 18 years old, what would you tell them?
I mean, if that's what they want to do, then
Yeah.
I encourage it. But I mean, I've tried talking to people, and I've tried to explain to them that, I mean, I've tried to help, and they're just not interested, so.
So they're happy where they are. Okay. When you did that first deal, when you're at the closing table and you're doing the signing, you're getting this deal done, how scared were you?
I was nervous. It was a big rehab, so.
And nervous how? What made you keep moving forward? Because a lot of people get scared and they can't move forward anymore. They just stop and they throw up their hands and say, too tough for me. What made you keep going forward?
Well, I'm lucky because my parents are always there to help me, but I mean, I enjoy it just as much as they do, so it's fun for me.
And with that first deal you did when you were 17, what was the biggest hurdle you had to go over in order to make everything work? And that whole deal, what was the biggest hurdle?
Me and my dad fought for like 6 months, and it was really hard.
You know what he said about you when you came back from Europe?
Oh no.
When I talked to him, I said, you know, how did Kelsey change the most? He said, well, before she would often listen to me. You know, I would say, you need to go do this, and she would go do this. He said, somewhere in Europe they taught her the word no. Did you know he said that?
No, I did not know.
Yeah, he goes, and she told me no. He said, now I'll go to say something, and she goes, no, Dad. And he said, and I really don't have a comeback. It's a little bit tough on me when she goes, just no, I'm not going to go do that. Because they raised you to be independent, right? Mm-hmm. And then they got what they raised. This is the way they wanted you,
Yeah.
And now there you are. There's someone out there right now watching you. Okay? They're watching this video and they're watching you. And they're looking at their very first property like what you went through. And they're terrified. And they don't know what's going to happen. And they're very scared. And their natural instinct is to say, let me just hold off, let me not do this. Because they're scared. What piece of advice, what advice would you give to them?
I mean, there's always something that's going to go wrong. So, it's just something to learn from. And, you're just going to learn a lot from your first deal. So, going to classes and all that is great, but really the best way to learn is just to do it. There's really, so don't be afraid of what is going to go wrong, because something's going to go wrong and you're just going to have to handle it, and it's going to end up being okay. So
describe the area where you invest. How big of an area? Where?
My whole houses are in Douglasville and Mableton. So Mableton is closer to Atlanta, and it's a little bit bigger than Douglasville. And Douglasville is, it's a small little suburb of Atlanta. So
But you're not investing like Kansas City or Alaska. You're staying pretty close. How do you find your deals?
2 of them have been family friends of my dad, and then one of them was a wholesaler.
Okay. Who decides whether you're going to take the deal down or not?
We talk about it together as a family.
Okay. And if you really, really want to do it and your mom and dad are saying this is a bad idea, what happens?
I usually just keep going.
On the rehab, overall, who decides on what gets done during the rehab?
I do.
I think you should keep working on interior design. You have a passion for this, right? I don't care about a degree or anything, but I think what you're on, you enjoy turning something into something else that suits your eye, suits you better, and you're very proud when you do that. You've said that to me a number of times, and I think you should keep learning about interior design because you're really good at it. So when you're getting ready to do this as a pad split, so are they furnished?
Yes.
Who picks the furniture?
We do. We have there's a hotel. They sell old hotel furniture, so we just go up there and pick that out.
Okay. Who manages it?
I do.
At 18 years old. What's involved in managing a property?
So anytime somebody moves out, we have to clean the rooms, and we do all the maintenance. So if there's a flood or somebody needs their locks changed or anything like that, any maintenance we have to take care of. So
When you're buying a property, is there someone else at closing doing it for you, or are you at the closing? You're actually signing the documents.
I haven't signed any documents actually because they're in trust.
Okay.
So,
Are you? But now at 18, you're the beneficiary of the trust, right?
yeah.
Yes. So the trustee is the one doing the signing.
Yes.
Okay. What character traits do you think? What character traits that you possess do you think play the biggest role in your success?
I don't know. A lot of people make decisions based on business, which is very important too, but I like to make decisions with my heart instead. So
Why?
because I don't want to do this if I'm not helping someone.
Zig Ziglar had a saying that you will get exactly what you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they what they want. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Who have been your most important teachers?
My mom and dad.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now, other teachers, who else are you going to? What other teachers have you gone? You said, hey, that helped me.
I've seen your classes in Vina, and I saw John Schaub and Pete. I love Pete.
Yeah, I know. But let's go to John Schaub. What did you think of John Schaub?
I really enjoyed him.
Was it understandable when he talked?
Yeah.
Okay, so it made sense to you, right? How about Pete? When you
He's
heard
a
him,
little confusing.
and you broke into a big smile. You said, "I love Pete."
Yeah.
Why? Why do you say that?
I don't know. I just do. I mean, I love getting to talk to him. They all have so much knowledge, so it's just interesting. I don't get any of it, but it's just I try.
But you say you don't get any of it, but are you starting to get some of it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not that you don't get any of it, and we all go through that. We all sit there the first time we watch Pete and go, and we're talking about Pete Fortunato.
Yes.
But we all look and go, what is this guy even talking about? What page is he on? What deal is this?
It's the same deal. It's one deal the whole time.
Each week, how much time do you spend into investing?
During a rehab, I spend like most days over there, but right now I can do everything remote, so like maybe 2 hours.
2 hours a week.
Yeah.
Wow. What does your week look like? If you have a weekly schedule, I know that it changes a lot because just what you do, but if you kind of have an overall, what time do you get up, daily routine, what do you do when, just kind of a really rough sketch.
We usually get up around like 9 or 10, and then me and Mom just run around doing errands all day, and we run in circles every day, and we just goof off the whole time. But yeah.
Okay, so along with that though, you do work some during the week, right?
Yeah.
So is there a time of the day that are you more of a morning person, afternoon person, or evening person? When does your brain work the best?
The evening.
The evening. Is that when you usually do your harder work?
Like paperwork and stuff.
Yeah. Good. Why is it important to do your hard work when you're at your best?
Because I can focus more, so it
Good.
makes it easier.
I'm the same way. That's why people always ask why do I get up between 3 and 4 in the morning. I work best then. My brain has always, since I was a kid, I'd get up early and I'd rather do my homework in the morning than in the evening. But my mom and dad would make me do it in the evening, but I wouldn't get it. So I'd sit there looking at a book, not having a clue what was there. And then after an hour, I could get up and leave. And the next morning I would get up and then go do the actual homework because I just work better in the morning. But sometimes people forget. They say you got to work by their schedule versus your own schedule. What is your single best piece of advice to a real estate investor who's just getting started, a young investor, someone who's your age, and they're thinking about getting started, what's your advice for them?
I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks. It's not like HGTV, but I mean, just continue to like go to teachers and continue learning, and really you learn best from doing it. So just, I can't stress that enough, just do it, because I can't tell you how many people I've met that just do teaching, like just go to teachers and have never done a deal. So
What do you think of those people who are just going to teachers and they never do anything? How do you feel about that, about them?
I mean, sometimes they drive me a little crazy because they ask me the same questions every time I see them. I'm like, you would have learned a lot more if you would have. I mean, you can learn a lot from a teacher, but you really can't understand it until you do it.
Yep. Looking forward, what are your real estate investing goals?
I would like to buy, I probably won't do this because I've got the bug too, but I'd like to buy one house a year.
Wait, before you even get started, what do you mean you got the bug too? What does that mean?
I'm addicted, I love it. It's a problem.
So you're like your dad.
Yeah.
So you make fun of him,
Yeah.
yet.
I know how to stop and take a break though. He doesn't.
Okay, keep going.
What was the question? Sorry.
No, it's okay. Looking forward, what are your real
Oh.
estate investing goals?
I'd like to buy one a year, and I really enjoy traveling, so I'd really like to do that more.
And when you travel, do you mean cruise ship? Do you mean backpack across wherever? Do you mean by the train? Do you mean
I'm down for
backpacking?
anything, whatever.
You just have the wanderlust.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people don't. They like staying in, a lot of people don't travel anywhere. They don't get more than 50 miles from their home. Yet you have this wanderlust. Where do you think that came from?
I mean, we've traveled since I can remember, so it's just kind of been like, it's just something we've always done, and I love it, so.
Yeah, I do too. I just, people always ask me, what's your favorite spot? And my answer always is the same thing, the next one. Where I'm going to next. I can't. I love where I am. I'm sorry when I leave, and I cannot wait to get to the next place. Just, let's go. As a real estate investor, what's been your biggest obstacle?
Myself.
Explain.
Every day I hear people tell me that I'm too young and I'm not good enough, so I sometimes feel like I can't do it, but obviously I can, so
Obviously you can.
I just need to, but yeah, my mindset has been the worst part. So.
Do you think it would help you if people would not tell you that you're going to fail or you can't do this?
A little bit.
Does that, when people tell you that, does that drive you at all?
Yes.
Kind of the you want to bet factor. You want to bet?
Yeah.
You can't do this. Want to bet? So as an investor, you have come at least once face to face with a proverbial brick wall. That wall that's so high, so wide, so deep, you can't get under it, around it, over it. It's just a brick wall. And all you want to do is quit. Any of us hit this wall, we all want to quit. But a select few don't. So you haven't quit. How do you overcome the brick wall?
I mean, there's too many people counting on me now. Like, my the private money lenders are counting on me, and I mean, I'm counting on myself, so.
How do the private money investors, how is it they count on you?
I mean, they've trusted me enough to give me the money to help me, so I should be responsible enough to, pay them back and keep them. I mean, they're my most important part, so.
So you feel obligated to the people who are around you, who are counting on you to be successful. And that's what allows you to not quit.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, there's people watching you right now, and they're hitting that brick wall right now as we speak. They're watching this and they're saying, "Yeah, that's me. I've got this brick wall." different for everybody, but it's still this thing. What advice would you have for those people that are thinking about just throwing up their hands and quitting?
I have no idea. Oh my gosh.
Think if it was you. Think of it, you didn't have your mom and dad. You didn't have a support system around you. What would you want someone to tell you? You're thinking about quitting and throwing up your hands and say, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to go travel, it's too expensive and I can't do it by myself, and people tell me that bad things can happen to me and I'm scared and I don't want...
I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but like, if you think you can do it, you can do it. If you keep telling yourself you're not going to be able to do it, you can't. So, I mean, I think you can do whatever you want. So, I mean, and there's no, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I mean, it's I don't know.
No, you did good. That's just it. You just keep going. Just everybody thinks that there's a magic thing, or you go listen to a thing. Just get up and put on your pants and go to work. Just keep hammering at it until that thing, that big obstacle breaks. It gets out of your way. I'm going to move on to bigger picture stuff now, because I've been asking you more specific questions. What's the single biggest, most important life lesson you've ever learned? This is a hard one.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do it alone. Whatever you're doing, you can't do it alone. So you need a support system, and you need to ask for help. And I have a hard time with that. So
why?
Because I want to be able to do it alone. I want to be able to.
Like when you're traveling, are you more of a loner when it comes down to accomplishing things? Do you just like to let me just go do it?
Yeah, I feel bad for asking for help. So
why?
I don't want to bother anyone.
And you understand that you're really not bothering anybody. When you bring somebody in, they're usually kind of excited. Something just happened. Oh, I get to go help here, and people, they really do like helping. That's when someone asks you for help. If I called you today and said, I need your help with this, can you come help me with this? What would you say?
Absolutely.
Like, would you do this interview today? And you said yes. Did you want to do the interview?
No.
No. Is this your cup of tea?
No.
No. Did you do it for me though?
Yeah.
Do you understand why? Do you understand why the interview is important? Why is it important?
Because I have something to give.
You have something to give. You're helping someone not quit. There's going to be at least one person out there that watches this, and they're going to keep going. And one day they're going to look you up. And you're not going to know who they are. You've never met them before. Maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's an email, maybe it's in person. And they're going to come to you, and they're going to shake your hand and say, I watched your interview. And it may be 10 years from now, but I watched your interview. You kept me going. That's what you're doing for somebody. So far in your investing career, what have you done right? What are the things that you've done? Name me something big that you've done right. Let me help here. Did you do something?
Yeah. I started.
You started. How many people do you see never start?
A lot of them.
Most of them?
Yeah.
So the difference between you and them is?
I started.
Is that a big deal? Is that doing something right? Name me something you've done wrong.
I mean, so many things. I've like scheduled contractors wrong, and I mean, I haven't all kinds of stuff. But
And with each mistake you make, what happens?
I mean, I learn and fix it.
Is there any shortcut?
No.
You just have to get out there and just do it,
Yeah.
and the problems happen, and you solve them, and you learn how not to repeat, not to make that mistake again, right? Again, this is such the start of your career, but what do you wish you could go back and redo? If you could do something, change something, what would it be?
I wish I started earlier.
How much earlier? What do you think would have been a good age for you to get started?
I don't know. Or maybe done more in the first year, but I would have liked to, start at like 15. That would have been nice.
So we're here at RV RIA. Are there some 15-year-olds here?
Yeah.
How do you think you can help them?
Encourage them.
Maybe if you said, I wish I had started at 15 and not 18 or 17?
Yeah.
You know they all look up to you, right? I don't know if you remember this, but 2 nights ago, when we were doing the campfire, you walked up. Did you hear everybody? Kenzie!
Oh,
Kenzie! Kenzie!
that's not my name.
Kelsey! I went with McKenna. Across from McKenna
yeah.
to McKinney. Then I went to your sister's name, and then I went, then I completely crossed over.
It's okay.
But anyway, so they were going, Kelsey, Kelsey. And that's when you went and you sat with them. You sat with them on the blanket. But everybody's so excited to see you. Did you hear that? You're a big deal to them. You're the big sister. What turns you on?
I'm sorry.
What turns you on? What makes your heart leap?
Oh gosh. Hanging out with them is so fun. I've enjoyed it so much, but really, like, they're my friends now, so, because they understand. But, so hanging out with all the kids here, and I've said it so many times, but I love traveling, so,
You really love traveling.
yeah.
You and I need to go someplace together. Because I'm like you, I can't.
Where do you want to go?
I just found out that Laura Dressman is going to be spending the fall. She's got to go to Spain
I did
to do
hear
some
that.
study. Yeah. My first thought was, I told Laura, I said, coming to see you, sweetheart, because I've never been to Spain. And I want to go live in Spain at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, let's go find out what Spain's like. So I'm coming to see you. And she's like, I'm in school. I went, oh, don't worry. It's fine. We'll go travel. What turns you off?
Hanging out with people that just suck the life out of me, can't handle that.
That's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you're around someone like that, what do you do? How do you chew your arm off? How do you get away?
I just try to be friendly. And if I can get a chance to leave, I leave.
And that's important, you know. And I'm like you. I heard a phrase. I'm trying to remember where I heard it. I just don't remember who told it to me. But you can't push a rope. A lot of people call me up and they were asking questions, but when it comes down to it, they won't go do what it takes. They won't go make the written offer. They won't get out there and get face to face. And I try to get away from them as fast as I can. I don't want their phone calls. I don't want to talk to them anymore, because they just want to talk, but they won't go do. And I think that's one of the things I just dearly love about you most, is you're fearless. And I know that it's scary, but you're still, fearless is the wrong word, courageous. that you're courageous because you'll charge at the thing and go do it anyway, even though inside you're going, oh crap, oh, this is not going to be good, this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
But you still are courageous, and that's one of the best qualities you have. What's your favorite sound?
I like rain.
What sound do you hate most?
Oh gosh. A child, oh my gosh. I don't want to hear a crying baby.
Many years from now, you're in heaven, you're standing before the pearly gates. What do you want to have God tell you? What do you want to hear God say to you?
Good job.
How long do you think this took?
An hour. Did it?
It's 1 hour. How do you feel?
Still nervous.
Do me a favor. I did this with your sister. Take a deep breath. Blow out. Breathe in. Deep breath. Blow out. Breathe in. Deep breath. Blow out. Look around and tell me what you see.
The water.
Do you like water?
Yeah.
What about it?
I don't know, I just like it. It's pretty.
Tranquil?
Yeah.
Peaceful?
Mhm.
Unless a carp's jumping out trying to hit you in the head.
Yeah.
You did a really good job.
Thank you.
You feel okay?
Yeah.
Are there any questions I didn't ask that you want me to ask you?
I don't think so. I'm good.
You're all done.